This is Baycare Health Chat, another podcast from Baycare Health System.
Welcome to Baycare Health Chat. I'm Deborah Howell, and I invite you to listen as we discuss some of the myths about dementia and how it's diagnosed and treated. I'm joined today by Celisa Bonner, licensed clinical social worker and clinic coordinator for the Madonna Patak Center for Alzheimer's Research and Memory Disorders Clinic. Celisa, what a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, there's sort of a myth that dementia is one big single illness, but really that's incorrect. Can you set us straight on that, please?
Sure. Dementia is really an umbrella term for over 200 different types of illness that affect the brain and its capability to function normally as it always has. It's really a comprehensive term for a decline in mental ability, including memory, planning, or language. And it is severe enough to interfere with our daily life.
Now, is dementia a normal, natural result of getting older?
So no, many older adults live an entire life without developing dementia. Though dementia mostly affects older adults, it is not part of normal aging. Normal aging may include weakening of the muscles and bones and stiffening of our arteries and vessels, and some age-related memory changes that may show as maybe we misplace our car keys, or we struggle to find that right word but we do remember it later, or maybe we forget the name of a person that we just met, or maybe we forget just a most recent event. But normally, knowledge and experiences built over years, old memories and language are going to stay intact.
Okay. Now, you sometimes hear people talk about the dementias. Can you tell us why they use that plural term?
So the dementias share a common symptom presentation, but they are different based upon their origin of cause.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, how is a person diagnosed and what happens during medical appointments?
So a diagnosis is made by a specialist, a doctor that specializes in brain health called a neurologist. They do a comprehensive medical evaluation. They want to evaluate everything from head to toe that's going on with that individual, and then they're going to order a diagnostic test. The diagnostic test could include taking an X-ray of the brain, like an MRI or a PET scan. We're going to have a comprehensive battery of labs, really more than just what your regular doctor is going to do, because they're looking at some more specifics, what's going on with the blood. And then seeing a specialized psychologist called a neuropsychologist to do cognitive testing. And that testing could range from 3 to 6 hours. That's really looking at or weaning out the strengths and weaknesses of what's going on with the different lobes of the brain.
Got it. Now, does a loved one always come into the appointments with the patient?
It's really important for a family member to come with the patient to the appointment. We really need to know, what does that family member see that person is exhibiting the things of their daily life? Because sometimes the patient may not really be aware of that, or the person may not be aware of that. So we want to learn, what does the family member see?
Yeah. Everybody needs education as to how the person is doing. What is the most common form of dementia?
So Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about Alzheimer's?
So I do want to talk about the 10 early signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Memory loss that disrupts daily life, changes in planning or solving problems, difficulty completing familiar tasks, confusion with time or place, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships, misplacing things or losing the ability to retrace your step to find that thing, decreased or poor judgment, withdrawal from work or social activities, changes in your mood and personality, and also, and finally, new problems with words in speaking or writing. And those are the 10 early warning signs of Alzheimer's disease.
It's a sobering list, especially the social withdrawal and, the coming apart of the relationship because they don't remember, who they're with, how they're with. I mean, it's God's work you're doing, Celisa. What's the most important and maybe the most wonderful thing about your job?
Since I have been through it myself with my mother, I understand the caregiver piece of it. So it's heartbreaking because it's a constant loss. Your loved one is constantly losing their ability to remember and to do things that they normally do, so their life is changing, and then you're having to adapt to their change. We're always looking at, they can't do this anymore, they can't do this anymore. So what I try to do is counsel caregivers. Let's get away from the can't and see what can they still do, and let's adapt what we need them to do, what they're still able to do. So the caregiver really has to do a lot of changing, which is hard. So that's the most rewarding thing in my job, is just to educate caregivers that we're here for you and we're going to help you get through this journey with your loved one, but also to remember to teach them about self-care.
Yeah, that's so important, so key. Well, thank you so much, Celisa, for all you do and for enlightening us on all these topics.
Thank you for this time, too.
And that wraps up this episode of BayCare Health Chat. For more information or to get connected with one of our providers, contact the Memory Disorder Center in Clearwater at 727-298-6025 and the Memory Disorder Center in St. Pete at 727-825-1595. There's also lots of great information at baycarememories.org. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and all the other BayCare podcasts. And for more health tips and updates, follow us on your social channels. Hey, if you found this podcast informative, please share on your social media and be sure to check out all the other interesting podcasts in our library. This is Deborah Howe. Have yourself a terrific day.